Okay, picture this. A feud, more than 10 years in the making, right? Ready to just explode. WrestleMania 41.
Yeah, that's definitely the vibe. And we are diving deep today into that absolute monster of a triple threat. Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Seth Rollins.
Exactly. And to really get under the hood of this one, we've got excerpts from a killer hype package transcript and also this really insightful editorial from WrestleSite.
hmm And our mission really is to cut through all the noise. We want to
Huh.
unpack the history, the personal baggage, the power plays that are really driving this thing.
Totally. Because the big themes that just jump out from both sources are legacy, definitely betrayal, and this constant, like, shifting power dynamic.
It's not just another title match, is it? It feels way bigger.
No way. It's personal. It's history colliding. So let's get into it.
Right. And that history,
Mm.
it's front and center. Punk kicks off the hype package talking about coming down those stairs, what, 12 years ago?
Yeah, with others, he says, to remake the company. That's a bold claim.
It really is. It sets up his whole perspective, doesn't it?
Mhm.
His view of his own impact.
Which then gets completely shot down by Roman Reigns. Just stone cold. He says, "We died a long time ago. It's only been me."
Oof. Yeah. I've made this place what it is today. Talk about a contrast.
It's just, wow. Two totally different realities about who built the present. What does that tell you about the power struggle even before they lock up?
Well, it's fascinating because Reigns' whole "it's just me" thing,
Mhm.
that lines up perfectly with the WrestleSite editorial calling this a collision 12 years in the making.
Right. It underlines that this isn't some new beef.
Exactly. These are deep roots. Think about all the stuff that must have happened behind the scenes over that decade. The resentment just building.
Absolutely. And you see that history fueling how personal this is. Well, for some of them anyway.
Definitely. Punk talks about destiny, right? Like this
Mm.
match just had to happen,
And then you've got Seth Rollins. Punk says he's been, quote, crying ever since I came back here.
which paints a picture, doesn't it? Someone really hit hard emotionally.
Very vivid. But then there's Roman Reigns, cool as ever, just saying, for me, it's just business.
But is it really? The WrestleSite piece makes a great point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's personal for Punk and probably Rollins, but underneath it all, it's about dominance. It's about history.
So can Reigns actually keep it purely business when the whole conflict is built on all these personal feelings and like perceived insults?
Or is that just business line itself, a tactic,
Mm.
a way to control the narrative?
That's a really good question, especially when you bring Paul Heyman into it. Oh, man.
The Heyman factor, it's
Mhm.
huge. This whole fractured brotherhood angle is just captivating.
And Punk twisting the knife, reminding Roman that Heyman is the OG Paul Heyman guy.
That line is loaded, isn't it?
Mm.
So much history just in those few words. What's Punk playing out there?
It's a direct shot at Roman's power base, right?
Mhm.
Highlighting that Punk and Heyman go way back before Roman.
Exactly. And then we get this whole complex favor thing.
Ah, yes, the favor. Punk wants Heyman in his corner at Mania.
And he frames it like Heyman will owe him for it, which immediately puts Heyman in this impossible spot.
Because Roman lays down the law, tells Heyman straight up, tell him no. The pressure in that command.
It's immense. And Heyman's response, "No, my tribal chief, I can't do that."
Wow, what does that even mean?
Is it loyalty to Punk? Is it strategy? Fear?
It's so ambiguous. And stuck right in the middle of this mess is Seth Rollins.
Poor Seth. Well, not poor Seth. He's in the main event, but he feels totally screwed, as the editorial puts it.
Understandably. He's got his own claim, his own ambitions, and now there's this potential Heyman betrayal storyline just swirling around.
It really shows how tangled up the personal and the professional get here.
Yeah, WrestleSite nailed it. One favor, one betrayal. It just adds this massive layer of what if to everything.
Seriously, what would a Heyman turn even look like at WrestleMania? The fallout for Roman? Unimaginable.
And you can see how that directly fuels Seth Rollins' frustration. He's not quiet about it. Not at all. He says, the fact that I'm not in the main event of WrestleMania makes me sick. Raw ambition right there.
And hey, the high package even says, yeah, Rollins is a WrestleMania main eventer. He's earned that.
But Punk makes that distinction, doesn't he? Rollins isn't the one getting this supposed favor.
Right. It brings up that whole idea of respect. Where do these guys think they belong? And why do they think they belong there?
And that's where, like you said earlier, the stakes just blow past the championship belt itself.
Both sources really hammer that home. WrestleSite says it flat out. This match transcends the title.
It's about who controls the narrative, who defines this whole era.
Who gets to write the history books,
Yeah.
essentially? And that underlying question the editorial poses, who was the real leader all along? That's been bubbling under the surface for years.
And with all that history, all that ambition, trust, forget about it, it seems completely gone.
Oh, yeah. You hear the accusations flying, untrustworthy,
Hmm.
backstabber, even threats about, taking each other out of the business.
It's intense. The consequences feel huge, way beyond just winning or losing one match.
Absolutely. That feeling of there can be only one is so strong here.
No.
It's not just about the win.
It's about dominance, making a statement, settling scores.
Exactly. Establishing who is definitively on top after all this time.
You know, listening to this, it makes you think, doesn't it, about times maybe you've dealt with broken trust or that real hunger for recognition.
Yeah, or just seeing those complex power dynamics play out somewhere. Even in this, larger-than-life wrestling world, the core motivations are pretty human, right?
Totally. Which parts of these sort of intense personal stakes really grab you when you hear about it?
That's a good way to put it. And when you look at this whole web, the alliances, the betrayals, the sheer drive for power these three guys have, WrestleMania 41 feels like more than just a match.
It feels like a reckoning, a culmination.
Yeah. Our deep dive into that hype package, the Russell site piece, it all points to this massive collision. Years of history, personal betrayals, that constant fight for the top spot,
Mhm.
all coming to a head.
It really is a clash of legacies, isn't it? Fueled by all that bad blood and the struggle for control, WrestleMania 41 is set up to be the definitive chapter.
Way more than just a title match. It's going to be potentially the final word in this really long, really bitter story.
So, final thought for everyone listening. With all that history, all that animosity in one ring,
Right.
what single moment, what specific action do you think will be the thing that ultimately decides it? Not just who wins, but who walks out having made the biggest statement about their dominance.
That's the question, isn't it? A lot to think about there.
Definitely. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.